and corridor so that you could keep these lights on, that you could keep your fridge alive, and you could listen to me by this medium, all of which depends on electricity. When you are spending this kind of money, over $100 million a year, you got to be sick. You got to stop it. We have been barking on this issue now for nearly 16 years, that the technology is available for us to change direction radically. And that direction is with renewable energy. Let me explain something here to you tonight. When you buy diesel, you are buying diesel from someplace you don't know where, with somebody who's selling you this stuff that you don't even know. You are outsourcing your hard-earned dollars to companies overseas. So let me give you a little analogy. When you have no control over that, this is the analogy you need to understand. If a bakery is baking bread and they need a 50-pound bag of flour, where does the flour come from? Flour comes from wheat. Do we grow wheat? No. Where does the wheat come from? The wheat could come from the United States, it could come from Brazil, or it used to come from Ukraine. It ain't coming from Angola, and it definitely ain't coming out of the valley bottom. But that is where you make flour from. So if you were buying flour for $100 a bag, and you're selling your bakes every morning, 4-day morning to people who buying bread, great, everything going good. But what happens when the 100-pound bag of flour turns into 200 pounds? $200. What happens when there is a war somewhere, like in Ukraine, and the price of wheat fluctuates and goes through the roof, and the price of flour goes through the roof? What happens to your business, and what happens to those people who have to come in to buy bread? You have no control over the flour. And in the same, you have no control over the wheat. You have no control over diesel. You have no control over gasoline. You don't make it down corridor. This is what we have to understand. But technology has given us the opportunity through solar energy and wind to change direction completely. And listen, Psalm 24 says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And the fullness thereof equals sunshine and wind. Now, what we have had over the last 5 years is a promise to change Angular's direction into renewables. And what have we received in return? We have received utter confusion, anger, bitterness, and more difficulty. When you listened to Mr. Hodge the other day on the radio, you heard a man who was angry, obviously, very emotional, grieving, exactly. But he wasn't, if you really listen to him carefully, he wasn't really grieving about himself, because he takes care of himself. But he was grieving about us, about missing yet another opportunity to change direction foundationally and fundamentally. And what you have to understand is the Anglic plan that I was privileged to be chairman of when we articulated that plan had 3 simple processes that we wanted to work on. And first of all, we decided to get 8 megawatts of solar. Now, let me explain that we didn't pull the 8 megawatts out of our hats. And I want you all to understand the work that went into all of this to make a foundational difference to Angular. If you go outside tonight, if your lights turn off and you look up at the night sky, you will see things that look like stars flying around. They're not stars once they're moving. They're satellites. And the Anglic, with the board that I chaired, and with the help of the Caribbean Development Bank, was able to finance a study from a high-tech company in the United Kingdom called WSP to to measure from satellites exactly how much sunshine strikes Anguilla on a yearly basis by the second. By the second. High-tech information. And that information allowed us to know exactly how much radiation sunshine comes down, even with cloud cover from time to time when it rains, and therefore how many megawatts a certain amount of solar panels would produce on an annual basis. And based on pure science, physics, and mathematics, we were able to figure out that 8 megawatts would save us initially 20% of our fuel. 20% of our fuel saved us $35 million. And that 20%, and that study from WSP was financed completely by the Caribbean Development Bank, free of charge. Free of charge. And yet, the Premier and his government got up in the House of Assembly time and time again and told you, the people of Anguilla, that we could not get any support from CDB because it had to be guaranteed by the government. Guarantee who? Anglec had borrowed 4 times before from the Caribbean Development Bank and the government never had to guarantee a thing. But that study allowed us to understand that in phase 1, just 8 megawatts, we could begin a transition, get the system organized, get the batteries organized, get the staff and the people in Anglec who work so hard to keep the lights on accustomed to a new type of energy that would make a difference to us. Then the phase 2 was wind, another 8 megawatts of wind. Now, you know when the sun sets, the solar panels gotta stop. The solar panels need sunshine. But look at tonight. If you had wind turbines, you think they would be stopping? So if you have a combination of solar and wind, you immediately eliminate over in less than 2 years, nearly 40% of the fuel we need. You see, you still need the fuel while you transition, because at night, when the sun goes down or when the wind dies, you need to turn on the diesel engines again. But the whole objective was simply to start phasing out fuel, stop burning fuel, stop paying for fuel, and then that translates into your pockets in money saved. You have to understand that today, when you have a power system, when you have an electricity system that is entirely dependent on diesel fuel, something is wrong. 85 cents out of every dollar that you pay in electricity bills goes somewhere overseas to buy fuel. That is madness. That is madness. If you go into a store and you see somebody selling, whether it's a Chinese store, a Procter, whoever, at least the price that they pay for electricity, the price that they pay for electricity is at least 4 times more than all the salaries they have to pay their staff. And when they have to keep on the freezers at this kind of rate of cost for electricity, what's going to happen to your food prices? Huh? These are the things that we have got to grapple with and make a fundamental change. And the fundamental change is here and now, and it is available. Now, the Caribbean Development Bank, in addition to that, the Caribbean Development Bank was more than happy to fund our transition to renewables. So let me give you some math. Let me give you some math. They were willing to give us a 15-year loan at 5% interest, which would have cost us $3.5 million in payments per annum for 15 years. But that money, the money that we were borrowing from the Caribbean Development Bank, would have saved $35 million worth of fuel. But do the math. Do the mathematics. That's a business deal or what? But yet, no, we can't borrow no money from CDB because you need a government guarantee. You can't do it. No, what we want instead is to bring somebody from overseas in a power purchase agreement, somebody from wherever he is, to come and tell us how to plug in a solar panel and how to plug in a battery. This is the kind of madness. A power purchase agreement is nothing but pirates of the Caribbean coming again. The same way, in the same way they ripped us off with the plantations, in the same way that you got to be careful with your tourism industry that is being alienated. It is the same way they come in for power. And you could own the power, because the last time I checked, the God Almighty has never sent an invoice for the sunshine or for the wind. It is free, and it is yours. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. Now let me give another story. I listened to your meeting the other night up at Ray Hill, and I listened to your candidate, Mr. Cardell Richardson, and he made the point about farming and renewable energy. He made a deadly point. Because what you need to understand is that Anguillan history has been, and I could talk about this all night, Anguillan history has been defined by drought. If you go back to 1650, everything that has happened to this little island for nearly 400 years has been defined by drought. And believe it or not, whether from jollification to boat racing to salt mining, all of that is a result of a natural condition you know as drought. Now, today, two technologies can turn Anguillan history on its head. The technology of reverse osmosis and renewable energy. Reverse osmosis is a process by which you force seawater through a bunch of sieves, and the sieves take out the salt, and you get fresh water at the end of the pipe, right? But the power that is needed to create reverse osmosis comes from electricity. And 60 cents at least of every dollar that it takes to run an osmosis plant goes to electricity. That is why the water rates are reasonably high. I'm not blaming anybody for this. If you're going to use reverse osmosis to send through the island in the pipes, it costs money because it has to be produced by electricity. But electricity is too high. That is what put Anglec in trouble in the last 2 years, when Anglec could hardly buy fuel. And Pat Martinborough can tell you more about this than I can. That the reason why Anglec was in trouble is that the government owed Anglec nearly $20 million from the Water Corporation. And they couldn't get the money to buy gas, to buy diesel. Right? So now come back to the water. If you change fundamentally the way we produce electricity for reverse osmosis, you will collapse the price of water. Now, when you collapse the price of water, if you have a smart company, Water Corporation, or a forward-thinking government, then the government will charge you and I, who are not farmers. We don't farm, but we wash our cars and we water your little plants now and again. You charge us a different rate. You charge the farmers almost zero. Bring down the cost of water to almost nothing for any bona fide farmer on Anguilla. And that is what Mr. Richardson was trying to point out on Ray Hill. Brilliant. This is what renewable energy can do for you if you are serious. So what I want to tell you tonight is simply this. The technology is there. The science is there. The math is there. The money is there. And you have the ability of people in Anguilla, and I'm going to do all of this, starting with people like Sutcliffe Hodge and all the other people who run Anglec. Right? So let me tell you one more story. And I'll get off the stage and leave it to the candidates you need to vote for. I'll tell you one. True story. You know what ground sea is, right? Yeah, you know what ground sea. Well, Montserrat suffer from ground seas too. Montserrat hired someone to solarize all the government buildings. Everyone. They wanted renewable energy to power up everybody's office who working for the government. And they did it. A couple of weeks later, after the system was up and running, the same tanker that has to come to Corridor to give you your diesel, was coming into to Montserrat to discharge its load of diesel. And the ground sea was on. Bad ground sea. And the captain made the right decision. He said, well, if we're hooking up the hoses to the buoys and the sea running like this, then if the hose broke, there'd be an oil spill. So he made the decision that he would continue up to the BVI and float his supply of diesel there. And then on his way back down, hook into Montserrat again. Montserrat's electricity company is Manlek. Just like we got Anglek, they got Manlek. So on his way back down, Bram, when he reaches Montserrat, don't see on again. And he couldn't offload. 2 days later, all the diesel done, Manlek shut right down. Everybody in Montserrat going up by the government office to charge the phone. Because the government office got power. Where the government office get power from? Renewables. Solar. But here's the last best part of that story. You know who hooked up the government solar energy? A fella, I think his father or his family from Stony Ground. Maybe you all know him. A fella named Tommy Hodge. This is the kind of foolishness. This is the kind of foolishness taking place in Anguilla. And you are losing over between $80 and $100 million a year from out of your pockets because of this stupidity. And when they say to you that they're giving you $500 credits, which amount at over 4 years to only something like $12 million, look how much money you would be saving if you didn't have to do that and you put renewables in. So let me finish where I began. I know a little bit about boats. And in this election, we got 2 symbols, and one of them is a boat. In the old days, when we used to plank boats out of white pine and pitch pine, we used to use a thing called oakum and cotton to caulk the seams. Oh, those of you who got gray hair like me might remember caulkers. Caulkers were serious people that were, anybody who had a boat depended on caulkers. The only living caulker we got now is Lionel Lloyd in North Hill. And the caulker caulked the seams to ensure that the boat would not sink. Today, we got a boat that ain't using oakum or cotton, it's using yellow dad. And yellow dad strangles anything. Yellow dad strangles anything and it rots. And any boat being caulked with yellow dad will sink. But before it sinks, I want to give you hope. While you bail, all you got to do is raise your eyes and look for the beacon. Look for the beacon. And the beacon sending a gleam across the waves, telling your struggling, fainting seamen and people, yours will be rescued, you will be saved. Fellow Anguillians, I gone. But you need to make a change. Please make a change. You ain't doing it for me. You ain't doing it for Kora. You ain't doing it for Sutcliffe Hard. You're doing it for you. God bless you.
Make your vote count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah. Moving together. Moving united. We prioritize quality education. Just in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people.
My fellow Anguillians and the electorate of this country, I hope that you were listening to David keenly. There were a few things he said there that I took note of. He said that the future of this country is in your hands. He put the blame squarely on you, the responsibility on you. In the next few days, you have to decide where we're going with this country. Another point that he made in reference to the premier in the House of Assembly, saying that the Caribbean Development Bank needed the government of Anguilla to guarantee the loans for Anglic to do the renewables, and that Anglic would have had loans in the past where the government didn't. There was no guarantee needed. So in other words, I don't know how to describe this nicely, but that seemed to be a lie. And there is a trend of lying with this administration. And coupled with that, you would remember that Courtney, who I believe is the chairman of Anglic now or some part of Anglic, would have said that he didn't see Anglic's renewable plan. And it was clearly indicated by Sutcliffe, who was the CEO, that Brother Morton was sitting in the room. One of the meetings, he was sitting in the room. So how come he didn't see it? Again, another lie. And they're going to continue with these lies right up until the 26th of February to try to bamboozle you into believing what they are saying. Now, my old great-grandmother said, a liar is worse than a thief. So we're gonna have to differentiate between simple liars and dangerous, devious, demonic liars. So you got to know which one are you going to put in office. Because if they're going to tell you a lie that you can easily throw out, what else they wouldn't do for you? He also mentioned in Montserrat about the renewable plant there. And you know what I thought about that when I heard that? He said, Tommy Hodge of Stony Ground, Anguilla, was the one who put that facility in place in Montserrat. So we have not only the technology, but we have the expertise here in Anguilla in order to do it. So where you want to outsource? What is there to outsource? And it brings me back to the .ai, where these folks would have outsourced the management of it. Don't tell me that we can't sort that out. If we don't have the capacity to do it, we will get the capacity in short order. Let's move on, but I want you to be very cognizant of what was said here this evening and what you would have heard on that interview with regards to Anglic. And I want to remind you, pay keen attention over the next 10 days to see if you are going to hear anything coming from APM platform or even in the debates about Anglic. That should tell you something. Mark my words tonight. Tell me when and if you heard anything coming from the APM about Anglic. My fellow Anguillians, we got to move on. We had a late start. So I'm going to invite our candidate in District 5, Mr. Devon Carty. Those of you in District 5,
Make your vote
5
united front.
votes, 5 beacons, 5 lights, my fellow Anguillians. Devon Carty.
Is quality education, just in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people, empowering all the young people. Watch way, diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote.
This is not a political speech. This is a plea to the people of Anguilla. I'm going to rest this right here. I only got a short time. But I want everybody to know how I feel. And I want you all to listen very, very closely. This ain't fun and games, because for a while now, Anguilla has been going through the trials and the tribulations affecting mostly our youth. But when our youth are affected, we are. There isn't a parent, there isn't a family in Anguilla that can rest peacefully in these times. They're so worried about their children. But we as a people, we gloss it over and we keep on moving. I said that I have no vision. And that shocked a lot of people, because most people know that one thing I am not short of is ideas and vision. But I was serious when I said that, because I want people to understand that vision is not what you see. Vision is what you imagine that you can bring to fruition. And what it is we need today in Anguilla is the vision to resolve the issues of youth on youth crime and murder. This is not a political problem. This is a cultural, social, and Anguillan problem, and we have to be big enough to face it, all of us. And this is something that I'm very, very serious about, because there's absolutely no way in this world that we are going to be successful when our youth are under threat. We cannot continue to raise our children in the safety and the sanctity of their bedrooms, unable to collaborate, unable to network, unable to teamwork. Anguilla, we are facing the biggest crisis in the history of Anguilla, and we are not acting like it. And I call out each and every one of you, especially the government of Anguilla that has the resources to solve it if they had the vision. I had the privilege of sitting with some experts and some people who care. And the AUF has invested time in coming up with policies that speak to youth and youth violence and crime. Gun violence in Anguilla has become so cultural. It has to be tackled. And when I say cultural, it means that it is so ingrained into a society that we accept it. And we live in hope that it will be resolved. This is not the case. This is something that we have to tackle with intent to resolve. We as a nation have dropped the ball in the last couple of decades when it comes to our young children. We have to fix that. Because I don't care who talks about what. If they are not talking about the situation with our young people in Anguilla, we ain't talking nothing. And I will personally hold the feet of my co-candidates to the fire when it comes to embracing this issue and working to resolve it. We have to invest in our youth. And this is beyond basketball and football. It is beyond tennis. It is beyond sports. It is right into the realm of ensuring that our dreams and aspirations are protected, because without the youth, there is no future for Anguilla. We need to inspire our youth. And the AUF is a party that cares, because it consists of people who care. It consists of people who give. It consists of people who are generous. It consists of people who are selfless and not selfish. It consists of people who have a history of looking out for their fellow man. And I am so proud to be involved in this political party, because I know the future of Anguilla is secure, especially when it comes to protecting and rallying behind the youth of Anguilla. It's about time that we invest in us for us. Because for many years, everybody else has been more important than us. We have got to resolve this. Anguilla, I beg and I plead every single one of you in your homes, in your lives, always think about the youth. Open your doors, your minds, and your hearts to the youth. This is bigger than politics. It is bigger than government. It belongs to all of us. But we, as the Anguilla United Front, we are going to invest in the young people of Anguilla. We are going to invest in their dreams. We are going to invest in their ambitions. We are going to inspire and help them with their aspirations. Again, I say this is no long talk. Everybody who is listening and within earshot of my voice, on election day, 25th and 26th, it's not complicated. On your ballot, you're going to see 5 beacons. Vote all 5. It's not complicated. Vote all 5. Vote for Jose. Vote for Neil. Vote for Jason. Vote for Kyle. And this is District 2, so you know what it is you've got to do.
Hello, yellow!
Because I'm betting on the first female premier, a woman that I've worked with closely for the past 8 months. She is solid. She is confident. She is intelligent. She takes her time. She ain't wishy-washy, and she sure as hell ain't out to fool you and take your money. I want you to vote AUF down the line, and I want you to vote in support Kora. Anguilla, I love you. I've always been there for you, and I will always be there for you. Thank you very much. And District 5, vote for Davon Carty. Thank you.
There you've heard it from Davon Carty. Let me remind you that on election day, on the left side of your ballot is the district candidate. District 1, Claude Smith. We want you to vote for Claude Smith, the beacon in District 1. In District 2, on the left side of the ballot, you will see Mrs. Kora Hodge, the beacon. We want you to vote for Kora. District 3, Shelia Rogers Webster, the beacon. And we want you to start circling that beacon from the inside coming out. We don't want you to go outside of the circle. No spoiled ballots. In District 4, you have the Vibes, Cardell, Richardson. District 6. District 5, you have Davon Carty. District 6, you have Patrick Martinborough. District 7, you have Cardigan Kana. And on every one of those ballots, from 1 through 7, on the right side of the ballot, you have the 4 at-large candidates. Joseph Vanterpool, Jason Bryan, Kyle Hodge, and Evans McNeil Rogers. We are asking you for your vote and your support. We move on with our candidate in District number 6, Patrick Martinborough. Come on up and speak to your people, Patrick. You know about Anglic, you know about the GST. Come on, speak to your people.
Why fight me down? Why you wanna see me fail? We're all human. Why you wanna cut the tail? But if I make your vote count, and we'll a united front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We prioritize quality education, trusting way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people, empowering all the young people. Watch me diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. Crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. 45 beacons, come out and vote. For the AUF, 'cause we moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together.
Good night to the people of District 2. We are here. Hello, who? Let me hear it again. Hello, who? All yellow. I would like to say this is going to be a good election. Q, play that song for me. Get rid of them. Play that song for me. Just a little bit of it. It feels good to be here. Good night, District 2. Tonight, I am here to give my support on the re-election of no one else but our humble leader, Kora Richardson Hodge. Hello, yellow. District 2, you have gotten it right. So no need to try anything else. Kora Richardson Hodge, she's now my mom, because she take me over from that uncaring leadership of Dr. Lorenzo Webster. You know her, a very humble lady. She listens, she smiles, and she executes with no holds barred. District 2, you don't have to try anything else. But tonight I'm going to be sharp because Fritz have me on a timer. Fritz, just give me a few minutes. I'll jump into something. Tonight, I'm going to speak a little about ANGLEC. I'm going to leave the GST topic for when I reach in District 5 and 6. Now, some troubling issues as it relates to ANGLEC. Did anybody listen to Mr. Sutcliffe Hodge on Class FM? If you didn't listen, go back and listen to that interview. Because I felt his pain. Because I too was the chairman, not the CEO, the chairman of ANGLEC. And you know one thing this government did? They did everything in their powers to destroy that company. But District 2, the workers, the majority of workers is from District 2. So I want you, District 2, to vote for your job. Vote to stop this PPA story that gone very quiet. Sneaky, 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 sneaky. It gone very quiet. But if you will go and make a mistake and venture over on that boat, you will pay for it. So what I want you to do, all the ANGLEC workers in District 1, District 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, vote to secure your job. Because if the PPA come in and that foreign company come in, your jobs will be in jeopardy. But one thing that they always do is blame Patrick Martinborough. The high fuel surcharge, Patrick Martinborough. The first chairman to cut water corporation, Patrick Martinborough. But if they had made right with their debt that had owed the company, there will be no problems at all between Patrick Martinborough and the government of the APM. But because I did not stand and be a puppet for the APM, I stood up for ANGLEC and I said, no, somebody have to do the right thing. But they removed the board and they talk that the price, the fuel surcharge is high because Patrick Martinborough is there. But 1 year, almost 2 years later, the fuel surcharge didn't come down. And the minister get up in the House of Assembly and say, to go down tomorrow. And 3 more months went, no fuel surcharge went down. So what a sad situation. But let me tell you, tell me if it makes sense. You bring a foreign entity, set up shop, sell to ANGLEC, and then ANGLEC in turn sell to you. Does that make sense? When we have the sun for free, the land is ours. Why are we giving away our last national asset to a foreign entity? Mr. Premier, you have to go. You and your whole uncaring team have to go. And you must go. Because District 2 got it right. District 3 got it right. District 4, you got it wrong. But this time, you have the vibes, man, and you will get it right. District 5, you have Devon Carty, the light. District 6, no gloves off. Go to the polls, use that hand, not for fighting, but use that hand to vote all lights and send Mr. Hughes home, all the way home. District 7, you got it right. You got it right. Stay with Mr. Cardigan corner. Please, I'm begging you, do not venture outside the lights. All beacons, all yellow, no mixing and matching. We do not want you, even if you like somebody else over there, take it down. But I'll tell you, let me show you why this government is not good for Anglec and the people of Anguilla. First of all, they refuse to pay the water corporation bill. They refuse to pay the refund of the custom duty that was taken from the company illegally, because Anglec have a duty-free concession and the fuel was not supposed to be charged. Then they refuse to take the sound advice of the board, just to name a few. But to compound the problem, they run with a PPA story. Power purchase agreement to a foreign entity. What a shame. And you talk about, you care about the people, about progress. Progress for who? Progress for a chosen few. Because something is telling me this fishy business is not right. But district number 2, vote for the beacon. We will support Anglec and their phased approach for renewables. Vote for the front to protect your jobs at Anglec. Vote for the front for your electricity bills to come down. We will make sure, not on day 1 or 2 or 3, as immediately as we get in, we will look to you, Anglec, and say, you have our full support to go with your phased approach to bring down the cost of electricity for the people of Anguilla. Because it's not a hard thing to do. And I'll say, no cock-a-doodle-doo. Don't let them fool you again. Don't let these people fool you again. So on election day, on the 25th and 26th, vote all lights. Vote all lights. Don't try nothing. I did that as the last election and elected this uncaring government. But before I go, I'm going to be the bigger man. I apologize to you, the people of Anguilla, for electing this uncaring government that call you criminals and dogs. So this time around, I am here with you and I will get it right, just like how you will get it right on election day. Thank you and good night.
There you heard it, taking the high road and apologizing to you, the people of Anguilla, for the mistake that he would have made in 2020. And he's not alone in that. There are a lot of people who I've met thus far who've said the same thing, and they are willing, able, anxious, and can't wait to go and correct the mistake. My fellow Anguillians, all of you who are here this evening, thank you all for coming out. I just want to point out that you can have a look at the mock ballot. It is right here in front of the stage. Please have a look at it, because we really and truly don't want any mixing or matching, and we don't want any spoiled ballots. It is clear what we have to do. Right here, there's a mock ballot in front of us. Let us keep moving on, because we have a number of speakers here this evening. And as I mentioned, when you start from District 1, the candidate that we have in that district, a nature individual, one who loves the soil, one who loves nature, an individual who would assist not only the government but you, the people of Anguilla, in terms of food security and so on. I was amazed at the depth of knowledge that was shared by Brother Claude and Brother Cardell. Really and truly a learning experience. These are some of the folks that we need in government, we need in administration to help with our food security and food safety and so on. Not individuals who are ministers of agriculture and fisheries and posing for photo ops and so on. But we'll get into that a little later. My fellow Anguillians, when you go to the polls, you in District 1, again, on the left side, it's Claude Smith. We need your vote and we need your support. And on the right side is the 4 at-large candidates. Look for the beacon. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes Claude Smith, our representative in District 1. Absolutely no comparison. What has the doctor done for not only District 1, but for Anguilla over the last 5 years? Mr. Claude Smith.
District 1, you know he's ready to represent you. Claude is coming through, so let me start up, 'cause he's ready. Yes, he's ready. We voting Claude, ain't no fraud, repping hard. Oh, we voting for Claude, we voting 'cause he's ready.
Good night, Anguilla. Good night, District 2. And a special good night to my people of District 1. My people, the time for waiting is over. For too long, District 1 has been neglected, overlooked, and left behind. We have had representation at the highest level. Our own district representative serving as Premier and Minister of Finance. Yet, what do we have to show for it? Nothing. We have been in the shadows for too long, treated as if we are still in opposition. But tonight I say, enough is enough. We will no longer accept being ignored while others thrive. We cannot afford another 5 years of empty promises and no action. District 1 will sit back and watch another 5 years pass along. The only way to break this cycle is to elect bold leadership. Leadership that will fight for you, stand with you, and deliver real results. That is why I stand before you tonight as a beacon of leadership, ready to fight for the progress and respect the district deserves. District 1, I stand before you with a team of 11 dedicated candidates of Team AUF. Together we will bring the change the district desperately needs. My people, tonight I want you to say, enough is enough. How can it be that our representative, the Minister of Finance, allocate funds to every ministry, including infrastructure with a dot road eradication program, yet not one single road in District 1 was included. How is that even possible? Mr. Premier, charity begins at home. District 1, we were left behind once again. And this is not just an oversight, it's a clear message. If we don't stand up now, we'll continue to be ignored. And I refuse to let that happen. And I know you won't either. When you vote for the Anguilla United Front on February 25th and 26th, road infrastructure in District 1 becomes a top priority. Every secondary road in District 1 will be upgraded. Safer roads, stronger infrastructure, and no more empty promises, only real action. Our fishermen are the backbone of our community. Yet, they have been left to fend for themselves. That ends now. We will establish a marine base and make fishing safer and more efficient. We'll install bright permanent channel markers to help our fishermen navigate home safely at night. The dock will be upgraded with fuel station, running water, electricity to support our daily fishing needs. We'll improve the boat ramp for easier launching and docking. And most importantly, we will have a dedicated rescue boat for quick emergency response, ensuring our fishermen's safety at sea. This is about respect. This is about investment. This is about putting our people first. District 1 has the potential to be an economic powerhouse. We will connect our industries and create more opportunities for our people. We'll embark on a Sea to Fork program, connecting our fishermen directly with restaurants and markets to provide fresh, locally caught seafood to visitors and locals alike. More sales for our fishermen, fresher food for our people, and a stronger economy for everyone. We'll embark on a Farm to Fork program, supporting our local farmers by providing more opportunities to sell their produce, whether through farmers markets, special dining events, or farm tours. Fresh local food benefits all of us. By promoting our fishing and farming industries as key tourism experiences, we create jobs, support local businesses, and make District 1 a top priority destination. This is how we build a self-sustaining economy that benefits everyone. District 1, our young athletes have been overlooked for too long. Sports and recreation are vital to our youths and our community. Yet, our playing fields remain in unacceptable conditions. That will change under the next AUF government. Playing fields in Welches, Island Harbor, and Easton will be upgraded with bathroom facilities, proper seating, and improved lighting. These fields will become vibrant spaces where our young athletes can train, compete, and thrive. We'll also have at least one indoor facility will be built to provide a safe and modern space for sports and recreation. District 1, it's time to invest in our youth. It's time to invest in our future. District 1, your time is now. We cannot sit back and watch another 5 years slip away. We cannot continue to be forgotten. We cannot afford more neglect. It's time to take our future into our hands. On election day in District 1, vote for me, Claude C. Smith, the Beacon. In District 2, vote for Premier Kora Hodge, the Beacon. In District 3, vote Shelia Rogers Webster, the Beacon. In 4, vote for Cardell Richardson, the Beacon. In 5, vote for Devon Carty, the Beacon. In 6, vote for Patrick Martinborough, the Beacon. In 7, vote for Cadogan Connor, the Beacon. And in all 7 districts, vote our 4 at-large candidates. Kyle Hodge, the Beacon. Jason Bryan, the Beacon. Joseph Vanterpool, the Beacon. Evans McNeil Rogers, the Beacon. District 1, our time is now. Let's stand together and demand leadership we deserve. Stronger leadership, bolder action, real results. Let's build the future of District 1 together. Thank you. Good night, and may God bless Anguilla.
Make your vote count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We priority is quality education. Trust in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch way. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. 45 beacons, come out and vote for the AUF. 'Cause we moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together.
Ladies and gentlemen, there you've heard it from Mr. Smith, our candidate in District Number 1. Listen very carefully. I'm not going to play the soundbite again, but you would have heard the Premier of Anguilla, Dr. Ellis Lorenzo Webster. I believe it was in an interview with one of the media houses, where he said you can become an Anguillian various means, by birth, by marriage, and so on and so forth. And he said, but being Anguillian does not give you the right to vote in Anguilla. His words. But he and his entire team is in St. Martin as we speak now. What are they doing over there? Imagine that. What a set of hypocrites in St. Martin right now, soliciting Anguillians over there to come over on election day. Hypocrites. You know, Jimmy Cliff sang a song long time ago, hypocrites, you stinking hypocrites. You're going to pay the price someday. That day is next week, when the 27th, the 26th and 25th and 26th of February, those are the days that they must pay the price for the hypocrisy that they're carrying out now. 25th and 26th, hypocrites in St. Martin right now. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to roll on. Our next speaker is our candidate in district number 7. He's been around the block. We want to thank the residents and voters in District 7, and we're asking them again to re-elect the Honorable Cardigan Connor and the entire slate of AUF candidates. Brother Cardi.
Make your vote count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah, yeah. Together, moving united. We prioritize quality education. Just in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch way. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. For the 5 beacons, come out and vote. For the AUF, 'cause we moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united. With your people first, leadership you can trust. Moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together, moving.
Good night, District 2. Good night, Anguilla. Tonight, we talk about a team of 11. But you know what? Look around. That's our team. It's not just 11 of us. It's all of you that give us the energy to stand here, give us the encouragement to go from district to district with an energy that says we're moving Anguilla forward. Some of my colleagues earlier talked about development, youth development. When we were in office back in 2015 to 2020, a lot of emphasis was placed on development in sports. Because, as we all know, that a healthy nation is a fit nation, or a fit nation is a healthy nation. Over the last 5 years, not enough has gone into sports development. We take great pride when our athletes, whether they're cricketers, footballers, track and field, go overseas and perform. But we've got to give them the tools. Back in 2017, we made a decision to start the Anguilla Cup. That was a case of bringing about 200 tennis players and parents to Anguilla to help kickstart the tourist season. That has gone by the wayside. Cricket, a sport that made me a household name in England and probably throughout the Caribbean. It made Omara Banks, Lanville Harrigan, Eustace Proctor, Val Banks. There's so many of them that were regarded as household names. Over the last 3 years, what has happened with cricket? We had a situation where it was the Premier's Cup. It was more about being a political cup and not about the development of our youth. It was a political cup, not a cricket cup. What I would say, fellow Anguillians, is that as we go forward with the next government, the Anguilla United Front government, we will make sure that a lot of emphasis is put into facilities, but even more than facilities, in programs for the development of our youth. The mentorship that is desperately required here in Anguilla, we have to make sure, and we will make sure that it's implemented. Sports tourism around the world is one of the biggest attractions, mainly because it's not just about what happens on the field, but it's about the development of our young athletes. At the start of the program tonight, we stood to attention as the national song was being played. There's nothing more impressive than when your athletes goes out and perform and your national song or your national anthem is being played. But we have to give our youngsters that opportunity. We have to put programs in place, and it is not too foreign to us, we've had success. In cricket, we've had success at the under 15s, under 19s, senior team at the West Indies level. With the tennis, there's been a number of scholarships through the Anguilla Tennis Academy. And thanks very much to Mitch Lake and the work that he put in there. We will bring that back. We will put the injection back into tennis. We will create programs in golf. Golf is not just a game to be played by Caucasians, as they would say, or rich people. We've got one of the best golf courses in the Caribbean, but we have to make it available so that our youngsters can learn the game, so that our youngsters can one day become the professionals, so that our youngsters can get scholarships and help their parents with the payment of a scholarship. Tonight, fellow Anguillians and my AUF family, we are in District 2 for a reason, a special reason, because it's believed that our leader is under pressure, but that's coming from the other side. When you look around, you know that's not the case. I've worked with this lady from 2015 all the way through. She's as strong as they come, just like every woman in Anguilla. Because the majority of women in Anguilla, and I can speak about my aunt, my grandmother, and many like them, because the strength of woman, as the song says, for many years has been the strength of Anguilla. That's why on the 26th of February, when you, our people of Anguilla, decides that Kora Hodge will be the next premier of Anguilla, and it's not just about Kora, it's making sure that her team will be there with her as well. She's won 2 consecutive terms, but that's not enough. She needs to win all 11 seats. All 11 seats, and how is it going to happen? Because we're all going to make it happen. My people, I thank you. I know there's some from District 7. Thank you for making the trek all the way up, because you're about bonding Anguilla as one. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Keep the pressure going. We got to go through all the way to the finish line. We're out in front. We're not looking back. We got to continue to run to the finish line. Thank you, and may God continue to bless you and Anguilla.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a feeling. What a feeling. What a feeling. The energy is there. We've got to take this energy to the polls on February the 25th and 26th. We've got to come out in our numbers. We have got to vote the beacon all the way. 5 votes, 5 beacons. A pleasure. It's a pleasure for me to be part of this team. And I want to introduce you to our next speaker, a young man who has decided to put his hand up and come forward and help to represent you, the people of Anguilla, and especially the young folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the vibes is right. I will welcome Cardell Richardson.
It's election time.
The
Vibes
vibes.
time. It's vibes alone.
The vibes
Tell me, can you
alone.
feel it?
In district
Yeah.
number 4,
AUF
vibes alone.
That is what I'm feeling. Can you feel it? When we come to elections, watch see where we walk, we walking. Watch see where we talk, we talking. Watch see where we move. Anguilla united front go lead. Make change come alive. Each and every time, we time. representing for Cordell and the AUF.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Hello, yellow. It's a pleasure and a blessing to see this crowd of yellow. Good night. District 2, good night. Tell me how you feeling. Are you feeling the vibes tonight, District 2? Tonight, it's not about me. It's about Kora Hodge. Next room. My fellow Angrillians, here tonight, those watching on social media, those listening via radio, and those abroad, good night. I spent my life building things, creating opportunities, and delivering results. Farming our land, not just about change, but making it happen. Agriculture isn't just about farming. It's a future. It is innovation, and it's an opportunity for our young people. Just imagine with me for a moment, our young people using artificial intelligence transform farming. Our engineers building smart irrigation systems. Our entrepreneurs creating new markets. This just isn't a dream. This is what can happen. When I walk through our communities, when I talk to our people, I hear their struggles and I hear their pleas. They can't afford basic necessities. They can't get proper health care. They can't see a future for their children. But I also see the strength in this Anguilla community. I see their determination, and I see the potential of our Anguilla people. That is why my vision, our vision, this Anguilla United Front vision is different. Now you see, we don't want just progress for a few. We want progress for everyone. We don't want development that divides us. We want development that unites us. And let me make a promise to you, because I said on this campaign trail I won't be making any promises or much promises, but this is one promise I'm sure of, and you could hold me to this. When I stand in Parliament, when I sit in those meetings, when decisions are being made, I will always ask one question: how does this help our people of Anguilla? And my people, that's what real leadership means. Putting people first, creating opportunities for all, building a future where everyone have a place to thrive and sustain. Now you see, this isn't just about politics. This is personal. This is about our future. This is about our children's future. And this is about Anguilla. You know what it takes to lead a nation? It takes more than just titles. It takes more than just degrees. It takes someone who has been tested and tried. And tonight I want to tell you about such a leader. Someone who has been in the trenches, not just talking about change, but fighting for it,
not just making empty promises, but keeping them. For years, she has fought for justice in our courts. For years, she has stood for principle when others wavered for years. For years, she has served our people without compromise. When she opened her law chambers, it wasn't just about building a business. It was about building justice. It was about giving our people a voice. It was about fighting for what is right for our people of Anguilla. You see, when others talk about helping workers, Kora Hodge delivered. When others make promises about labor rights, Kora Hodge got it done. And when others fall under pressure, females falling under pressure, Kora Hodge stood strong. Okay. Let me tell you about real leadership. When she championed the Labor Relations Act, she wasn't afraid to take on big business. She wasn't afraid to stand on principle. She wasn't afraid to fight for you. For 30 years, our people waited for labor reform. For years, workers needed protection. But it took one leader with vision, one Kora Hodge to make this happen. And that's not all. While others use community work for politics, she shows it through action, through the Hope Center, through the AXA Cares Food Bank, through community cleanup initiatives, and through the village celebrations. She doesn't just serve the community, she builds the community of District 2. Now, you want to know what makes her different? It's just not her law degree. It's not just her environmental science degree. It's not just her experience as a minister. It's not just her time as opposition leader. It's simple. It's that she continues to put people first. Okay. But not just in words, but in deeds. Not just during election, but every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, the next time someone asks you why Kora Hodge, tell them because she is principled when others compromise. Because she is qualified through her experiences. Because she has been tested by her challenges. Because she has been tried by opposition. But most of all, through all of this, she has delivered when others failed. So you see, on election day, when you hold that ballot sheet in your hand, remember what's at stake. Our children's future, our people's dignity, and our nation's destiny. look for the beacon, that beacon of hope, that beacon of change, that beacon for true progress, and that beacon for leadership.
Okay.
My people, under the song of my voice, this election isn't just about winning. This election is about saving our nation. This is about feeding our families. This election is about educating our children. This is about building our communities. And this is about our Anguilla. Together, under Kora's leadership, we can make Anguilla proud again. We can make Anguilla strong again. And we can make Anguilla free again. So on election day, don't look for no other symbol but the beacon.
Hello, yellow.
Just look for the beacon. 5 lights. Shine them bright. 5 lights, my people. And I encourage you to support all our 7 candidates in the district and our 4 at-large candidates. Good night to the people of District 2, and may God bless you.
Godel, it's election time. Vibes time. It's vibes alone. Tell me, can you feel it? Yeah. AUF alone. That is what I'm feeling. Can you feel it? When we come to elections, watch the way we walk. We walking. Watch the way we talk. We talking. Watch the way we move. And will I united front go lead? Make change come alive. Each and every time. And will I will unite. Yeah. I'm feeling. The rhythm is all that I'm feeling. I'm feeling. Don't ask me how. We ready now. I'm feeling. The rhythm is all that we feeling. I'm feeling. We winning now. 'Cause it's vibes alone. AUF, can you feel it? District 4, can you feel it? Godel is vibes on top of vibes alone. AUF, can you feel it? Can you feel it? Can't you feel all this energy? And will I tell every symbol of hope and unity? Can you feel it?
Ladies and gentlemen, despite the last 5 years, the future of this country looks bright when you see Vibes and all of the young and so young candidates in this Anguilla United Front. There's so much to say about Kora, but I just want to add one more point as we go along. Vibes made a lot of good points. Over the last 5 years, and let me back up. Kora Hodge was a minister of government for 5 years. And during her 5-year tenure, along with the support of the Honorable Victor Franklin Banks and the Anguilla United Front team, Kora was able in 5 years to champion constitutional amendments that allow you, the people of Anguilla, to be able to vote for 4 at-large candidates. Under her leadership, my grandchildren, none of whom were born in Anguilla, can own a piece of this rock without an alien land holding license. So much foresight and thought. So if she did that, while she was Minister of Home Affairs, this administration, imagine what she would do when she becomes Premier in 10, 12 days. Compare that to what this administration has done in their 5 years. Not even a comma they have put in the Constitution. It's still there for Kora to continue with the constitutional reform. Again, youth mixed with experience. Our next speaker, again, diversity, all inclusive. We are all one people. The next speaker happens to be none other than Jason Bryan, our at-large candidate. Jason, come on, talk to you.
On the merry-go-round, you can't find a fighter. But I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out. Move mountains, we gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, I like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I do it 1,000 times again.
Good evening, my fellow Anguillians. Good evening, District 2. I stand here tonight excited to be part of your history-making decision. This upcoming election is a very important one in the written history of Anguilla. And you, the residents of District 2, will play a very important role. You will be responsible for electing the first female premier of Anguilla. You will be responsible for electing all 4 island-wide candidates for a single party. You will be responsible for electing the first Dominicano Anguillan into government of Anguilla. And you will be responsible for electing a government that truly cares about the people of Anguilla. It's a true honor to stand here tonight as an island-wide candidate with the Anguilla United Front, the only party in this upcoming election that truly cares about the people. I've had the honor of working under the leadership of an understanding, caring, and prepared woman, Madam Leader, Mrs. Kora Hodge. Kora Hodge has been an amazing mentor to me as I navigate through my political journey. You know why? Because leadership is not about title or power. It's about service. True leadership is the ability to inspire, to uplift, and to guide others towards a vision that is greater than one single individual. It's about standing firm of challenges, making tough decisions with integrity, and always keeping the well-being of the people at the heart. You can trust this type of leadership under Madam Leader Kora Hodge. Anguilla has seen and experienced the dictatorial and vindictive leadership of this present administration. And I know for a fact that we don't want any more of this. So I say tonight, let's rise up. Vote for leadership that cares. Vote for leadership that listens. Vote for leadership that includes you. Vote for leadership that puts the people first. Vote for Kora Hodge in District 2. Dominicanos y dominicanas, no solo quiero escuchar tu voz para asegurarme de que la entiendo y la represento, sino que puedo identificarme contigo. He experimentado tus problemas, he sentido tus luchas como dominicano. Así que juntos tendremos por primera vez en la historia de Anguilla un liderazgo que suena y se parece a ti. District 2, you've always shown that you will rise up to give Anguilla great leaders from this district. You voted for the Honorable Osmond Fleming as your chief minister. And now you have the opportunity to vote for the first premier female in Anguilla's history. So District 2, let me remind you to rise up. Let's make history together on February 25th and 26th. Vote for your first female premier of Anguilla, Kora Hodge, and vote for all 4 island-wide candidates. Vote for Kyle Hodge, vote for Joseph Antipool, vote for Evan McNeil Rogers, and yes, vote for me, Jason Bryan. Thank you, and may God bless Anguilla.
What a lineup, what a lineup. What can I say? Makes me feel young again. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear from the lady of the night and the first female premier. So we are moving along. That was Jason. Another superstar that is going to grace the stage and address you, none other than the Honorable Island-wide candidate, Mr. Jose Van Tapu.
Make your vote count. Anguilla United Front. Yeah, yeah. Moving together, moving united. We priority is quality education. Trusting way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch way. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. For the 5 beacons, come out and vote. For the AUF, cause we moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united. With your people first, leadership you can trust. Moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united. District to district, you know we united.
District 2, you know we united. Good evening, Anguilla. Good evening, Team AUF. And as we stand here on what I consider to be sacred grounds in front of the Morris Vanderbilt Primary School, I will say good evening, District 2. District 2, I want to know one thing. How are you feeling tonight? Now, I hear you, District 2. I want to know, how does it feel to know that you are about to bring home not only Anguilla's next premier, but Anguilla's first female premier? It got to feel good. Now, before I even get into what I have to say, if there is one thing you, the people of Anguilla, I want to remember, if it is the only thing you remember from what I have to say is, this is not the time for mixing. This is not the time for matching. When you go out there on election day, I want you to vote right, and that means vote all 5 lights, all 5 beacons. Now, I want to start off by thanking Mr. David Carter for his service. In fact, I was touched and he sparked me to think a whole different direction as to how I was going to come up and present. Mr. Carter would have acknowledged how rapidly technology is advancing and the potential that it has to transform our lives. Now, while I know and acknowledge that Mr. Carter was talking about in the renewable energy sector, that is a statement that holds a lot of weight in so many other ways. Think about when the internet was created. It changed the way that we do business, the way that we communicate, the way that we learn, the way that we live. In fact, you remember them 2 dark days when the internet line had get cut? So now I see how the internet transforms our lives, right? Well, my people, we are now at a crossroads where we have potentially seen the greatest technological development since the birth of the internet. And that is artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI. Now, I was honored to have had the privilege to represent Anguilla last year in Guyana, to speak at the conference of the Caribbean, the Americas, and the Atlantic region, to our regional leaders about the opportunities that AI brings along with it, opportunities for us as Caribbean islands, opportunities for us as a Caribbean region, and opportunities for our people to develop and to be able to compete on the international stage. Opportunities in education, opportunities to improve governance, opportunities to make money and create businesses that never existed before. But my people, there is one thing that I want to highlight. Well, before that,
Let me just say that while these opportunities are here for us all, Anguilla is uniquely positioned to benefit like this, like no other country, not only in the region, but in the world. And that is because we have a special connection to AI, and that is our .ai domain. My people, if we do not vote right this next election, we will leave it in the hands of people who don't know what I'm doing with it. People who gave it away because they don't know how to run it. They thought that no other Anguillian did. But this is because they don't believe in their people. That's because they do not put their people first. But before I get their people, artificial intelligence is simply but a tool. The same way that you could pick up a knife to go chop some vegetables to go cook, or you could pick up a knife to go and hurt somebody. The same way that you could take up a match to light your stove, or you could take up a match and go burn down an entire forest. AI is but a tool. It is neither good nor bad. What matters is the heart and the intentions of the person wielding that tool. So while AI hosts a wealth of benefits for Anguilla, a wealth of benefits for the Caribbean region, my people, I want you to stay vigilant. What we have seen over the course of the past week is that it got some people out there who are allergic to the truth. And when the truth confronts them, they find every deceptive way to weaponize, to malign, and to deceive. The same AI that has empowered persons to be able to create in ways and avenues never before imagined. That is the same AI that they want to take up to create videos of Trump, videos of Obama, and it was only a matter of time, but now we have seen that they have finally brought it home and using it to make fake videos of our very own Anguillians. My people, I need you to stay vigilant. Let truth and right our banner be. We'll march ever on. Those should be words that are more than words in our national song. Those should be words that we want to see every Anguillian take and embody in their hearts, especially when it comes to our leaders and those vying for political office. If there's one leader who I know I don't have to worry about that because she herself embodies these words, it is the Honorable Kora Hodge, the leader of the AUF and the soon-to-be next Premier of Anguilla, and District 2, the first female Premier of Anguilla. The Anguilla United Front team will not stoop to those levels. We do not believe in deceiving. We do not believe in dividing. We do not believe in destroying simply for want of gaining power. We are a party of principles, a party that believes in truth, honesty, integrity, a party that believes in putting the people first. So my people, the reason that we won't employ those deceptive methods is because we know that you, the people of Anguilla, deserve better. And that is exactly what you will find not only in Honorable Mrs. Kora Hodge, but in every member of the team that she has worked so hard to assemble. So my people, when we see the lengths that they are willing to go and how they are willing to try and use these new tools to attack, divide, and try to fool you, you should take that as an insult to your intelligence. And the way we respond to those insults is by voting them out. My people, on election day, I believe your choice is clear. I don't know how else you want me to say it. When you go there, do you want the party that is willing to send Trump, Obama, or to say whatever they have to say to hold on to power? And that means not telling the truth. Sorry, are trying to avoid that L word, that three-letter L word, because I was reminded my grandmother listening, and she can still beat me for saying it. But anyways, we know what word they're talking about. They are allergic to the truth. So when you go out on election day, I want you to look at the left side of that ballot paper and circle next to the beacon for the Honorable Kora Hodge and for every beacon to the left in every district. And when you look to the right, look for the 4 lights over there and share them all. Vote right, vote all 5 lights, Anguilla. Come February 25th and 26th, we are sending a message that we do not believe in deceit. We do not believe in division, and we do not believe in destroying people's character. We are a party that believe in building our people up, and we will be here to build Anguilla and move this country forward with your vote and your support. Thank you to the people of District 2, and thank you to the people of Anguilla.
An APM administration totally out of order, talking about we don't have the capacity here to deal with .ai. Right in government, senior civil servants, expert in the area, .ai, Bitcoin, digital transformation and the likes, senior civil servant, so I'm not going to call his name here this evening. But I'm going to try and work with Jose to make sure that we have a .ai that would be able to throw one chair from one side of the podium to the next. And we're going to call it Tasty Gate. So we're going to work on that. We're going to work on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to keep it rolling. What a list of speakers you've heard this evening. And we are not finished. Because the next AUF island-wide candidate who is going to come and speak to you, when you talk about integrity, when you talk about commitment and his conviction to his beliefs, and putting you, the people of Anguilla, first before his own comfort zone. Let's welcome the Honorable Island-wide candidate, Kora Hodge.
Make your vote count.
A true champion.
United front.
A true champion. Come on.
Moving united. We priority is quality education. Just in way to better the healthcare system. GST relief to the people. Empowering all the young people. Watch me. Diversify the economy. If you're proud to be a beacon, follow it. We gon' tackle the crime and the violence. This is the time then to come out and vote. For the 5 beacons, come out and for the AUF, cause we moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united, moving together, moving united. With your people first, leadership you can trust. Moving together, moving united, moving together, moving.
Wow. What a crowd here tonight. Good night to the people of Anguilla. Good night, District 2. Wow. I have a good friend in the crowd. And I just have to ask one question to this good friend tonight. Who is the problem? Who is the problem? People of Anguilla, people of District 2. The closer we get to election day, the stronger
and safer we get. And that is as a result of your support, your encouragement, and most importantly, your presence here tonight. Your presence here tonight gives us that hope that victory is near. AUF family, what pleases me each and every time I step on this platform is the fact that I'm seeing more and more and more beacons. I'm hearing more and more horns. I'm hearing more and more whistles. So while you blow your horns, and while you blow your whistles, and while we dance, we need you to take the same enthusiasm to vote. My fellow Anguillians, twice in history, we as a people have been deceived by boarding a boat. The first was in Africa. We were torn from our homeland, enslaved and stripped of our dignity. The second was right here in Anguilla in 2020 when we were promised change and prosperity, but was led into a storm of division, struggle, and suffering. But today, a new beacon. But today, a new day in 2025 is coming. A beacon of light shines brightly through the storm, guiding us toward the shores of prosperity. Tonight, we stand at a crossroads, not just for District 2, but for the future of Anguilla. The choice before us is clear. We can continue down a path of fear, intimidation, and compromise, or we can rise above it and choose leadership. Leadership that respects people. Leadership that defends dignity. Leadership that restores integrity to our politics. Let me be clear. Lennox Vanterpool is a good man, but he stands with the wrong party. A party that rules with fear. A party that has shown us time and time again that their leadership is driven by ego, by arrogance, and by intimidation. Just the other night, his colleague from District 6 threatened our colleague, Mr. Patrick Mardenborough. And this is not an isolated incident. This is a pattern. District 2, is this the kind of leadership we want for our country? A leadership that bullies and threatens its own people. A leadership that wields power through fear and intimidation. We cannot allow Anguilla to be held hostage by fear. We cannot accept leaders who serve themselves instead of serving the people. And we absolutely cannot tolerate a government that acts in such a vile and egotistical manner, especially when our society is facing so many challenges. Challenges in our schools, in our communities, and our economy. This is not just about one election. This is about the soul of Anguilla. This is about a kind of leadership that moves this country forward. the kind of leadership that we want to live and act. We want to be role models for the children of Anguilla. And that is why we need Kora Hodge. Kora stands for a different kind of leadership. One that leads through reason, respect, and responsibility. A vote for Lennox is a vote for Hayden's style of politics. But a vote for Kora is a vote for dignity. A vote for Kora is a vote for integrity. A vote for Kora is a vote to restore trust in government. Let me tell you about Kora Hodge. She is a professional of the highest caliber. She doesn't mix business with pleasure. She doesn't compromise her values, and she doesn't bow to pressure. She is also a very humble, grassroots woman who would chill under the tree and make jokes with you. And that is a side that I admire most. As Minister of Labor, Kora stood up to big establishments, even when it wasn't politically convenient. When one of her own people was disrespected, Kora took action. She sent an expat worker out of this country for flinging a shoe at an Anguillan employee. That's what real leadership looks like. That's what standing up for your people looks like. But what do we see today? We see a government in bed with investors. We see a sitting premier officiating weddings for hotel owners. We see ministers flinging chairs at regular, ordinary citizens. We see ministers dining and laughing with the very people who mistreat Anguillan workers. Do we know how demoralizing this is for our people? Who can they turn to for justice when they see their leaders breaking bread with those who oppress them? I say to hotel workers, your future is safer with the Anguilla United Front. I say to hotel workers, we will defend your rights. We will pursue that pension plan for you. This culture of compromise, this culture of favoritism and elitism must come to an end. Anguillians deserve leaders who separate business from politics. Leaders who value people over power. Leaders who respect their office, respect the people who put them there. That's why, people of District 2, that's why we need Kora Hodge. Kora will not sell out her people. Kora will not play games with investors. Kora will not compromise her integrity, no matter who is watching, no matter who is listening. And when Kora is elected, District number 2, you will be electing the first female premier of this country. A leader who leads with reason, not with threats. A leader who stands on principle, not on popularity. A leader who uplifts people, not intimidate them. District 2, the Anguilla United Front is here for you. We are here to restore dignity, restore trust. We are here to restore integrity to Anguillan politics. If you believe that fear has no place in leadership, vote Kora. If you believe that power should serve the people, vote Kora. If you believe that it is time for a new chapter in Anguilla's history, vote Kora Richardson Hodge. District 2, you are voting for the next premier of this country. Let us rise above the politics of intimidation. Let us rise above the egotistical leadership of today. Let us rise together for a better Anguilla. District 2, make the choice to stand for truth, for integrity, for a brighter future for Anguilla. The power is in your hands. The change begins with your vote. May God bless you and may God bless Anguilla. On election day, District 2, let's make history. Let's choose integrity. Let's choose leadership. Let's choose Kora Richardson Hodge. Vote for Kora Richardson Hodge and all of the island-wide beacons. God bless you. Peace, love, and respect.